Hey, what is up my fish tank guys and girls? Today I'm going to be doing a brief unboxing video. This is a product that I have never tried before, but I'm very much so looking forward to putting it into my BioCube and seeing how it works. So after the intro, I'm going to be opening up an algae turf scrubber. Let's check it out. So if you guys have been following the channel, you may know that I've been dealing with some issues with my BioCube lately. I've been having outbreaks of green hair algae that I've been having a hard time getting rid of. And, you know, as a result, I ended up removing some rocks from my system, moving things around, trying to do a deep clean. However, you know, I still wanted to look into the problem a little bit more and see if there's anything I can do to solve it. Now, I've been doing water changes once every 2 weeks and I seem to be keeping up with things, but I was wondering if there was another way that I could help ease this maintenance burden that I feel like I'm dealing with on a weekly basis. I'm almost under pressure to keep up with that maintenance or else the tank is going to go downhill very quickly. So after doing some Googling and, you know, looking at other videos on YouTube, I stumbled across somebody who mentioned an algae turf scrubber. Now, I've heard of algae turf scrubbers before, but in my thought process from the past, they were really expensive. I'm talking like $400, $500, $600. And so I started looking into it a little bit more and I found this company called Santa Monica Filtration. Now they actually have smaller algae turf scrubbers that work well for nano tanks, and they are much more reasonable than $400 and $500. Now I believe this unit, this is the DROP.6 unit. The reason it's .6 is because it's supposed to keep up with 0.6 cubes of frozen food a day, I believe, or maybe it's half a cube. I don't know why it's called .6, but anyway. So the .6, I believe, is $130. Now it's still kind of a pricey item, but compared to $400 and $500, it's much more reasonable. Now, I'm going to go into this very briefly in this video, and then I'm going to have a follow-up video showing you guys where I put this in my BioCube, and then down the road if I have good results from using it. So first, let's open it so you guys can see what it looks like, and then I'll explain a little bit. I did cut the tape open before the video here. Okay, so you'll see I've got some nice green packaging things in here. We've got a full color instruction book. This is another one of their products. This is called the Rain 2. I don't know if you can see that. That is a larger algae scrubber that's going to be used with like a sump or a larger tank that has higher nutrient levels. It comes with a little syringe that says, use syringe if needed to put vinegar in the air tubing to dissolve lime carbonate buildup that blocks airflow, then flush out with water in your sink. That is something that I read that sometimes happens with these units. All right, let's get to the, oh boy. Okay, it's kind of like a party here. Let's see. I don't want to make a mess. Okay. All right, so the product itself is much smaller than the box. So let's try to get this back in. Oh boy, let's try to get this back in here. I don't know how big of a fan I am of the confetti, but maybe it's supposed to be like, hey, this is fun. This is a fun product. You're gonna have fun with this. All right. Okay, so let's close this, get this out of the way. All right, so just a comparison here. Here's the box. And here is the unit, much smaller. And part of this is like cords and things like that. So let's go ahead and get this open itself. All right. Okay, we'll get this bag out of here. All right, so now we're getting a much better picture of the scrubber. Here's the size of the box. Here's the size of the scrubber itself. Okay, so it's much smaller. You can see, pretty small. It's going to fit in the rear chamber of the BioCube. At least I am hoping it will. Okay, so we'll put that box to the side. Now, let's take a look at the booklet here that came with it. Okay, advertisements, basically. These are just some of the other products that they offer. Okay, so there's a lot of information here. I'm not going to read this all to you guys. It's a lot, which is good though. It's good. It's a nice manual here that basically tells you everything you need to know about this unit. Okay, so guys, essentially what this is, and the reason I'm really excited to try this, I don't know if it's going to work the way I expect it to, but the reason I'm really excited to try this is because after doing some reading and watching some videos of other people who have used this, this seems like a miracle drug for reef tank aquariums. I've even seen people mention that this is not pushed as a product because it will replace other products. Okay, so I'm always looking for ways to lower the amount of maintenance that I do on my reef aquarium, and then also I'm also looking for these things so I can tell you guys about them, so you can potentially make keeping your reef tank easier as well. Now, so essentially what this does, let's get this open here. Okay, so essentially what this does is this becomes a housing for nuisance algae in your aquarium. So as you guys know, I was having an issue with green hair algae, and I was having a hard time getting rid of it. I was trying to manually remove it, all that stuff. I did a lot of water changes and it kind of went away. I used Flux RX, that kind of got rid of it a little bit more. But the underlying issue is that I have nutrient buildup in my aquarium. Now it could be because I'm not keeping up with maintenance. Lately I am. Could be that. Could also be like old tank syndrome, which is basically your rocks, your live rock, your filtration kind of gets like filled up to the point where it can't really process those nutrients in the water the way that you need them to. There's a whole myriad of things that could be causing it. So essentially what an algae scrubber does is it encourages nuisance algae to grow in this housing, right, rather than in your display tank that you want to keep nice and clean looking. And in doing so, the growth of that algae will suck the nutrients out of the water. So it's basically like you are doing nutrient removal the natural way, right? Algae is growing. Algae is very efficient and effective at sucking up nitrates and phosphates and other things that you don't really want in your aquarium. That's why algae shows up in the first place, because you kind of have a nutrient imbalance. Now, it sounds too good to be true. Some people say that they don't need to do water changes once they add a unit like this. I don't buy into that theory. So I'm not here thinking, okay, I'm going to put this in and I'm never going to have to touch my tank again. It's going to look great and pristine. And I'm not of that mindset, but I am of the mindset that hopefully it helps to cut down on the nuisance algae in my aquarium and potentially helps to cut down on the number of water changes I have to do. I'm still going to do water changes, but right now I'm doing them every 2 weeks. I could do them every week, but maybe I could get it down to once a month. And if I could do that, that would be great, right? So just so you guys know, essentially what this unit does is there is a red LED in here that obviously lights up and turns on. Algae is attracted to red light, so that encourages algae growth even more. So there's a red LED in here. There is a rough surface in here. Algae needs a rough surface to attach to, and then there is also air tubing. So essentially you also have to have an air pump with this. It came separately, like I had this air pump just kind of sitting around. You're going to hook this up to here, and the air bubbles will rise up over this surface where the red light is shining, 12 to 18 hours a day. I'm not really sure. I'm going to have to dial that in. And that encourages algae growth in here. And then what they recommend is every 2 to 3 weeks, you pull this out of your tank, you open it up, you scrub it out, you rinse it out, you get all the gunk out of there, and then you drop it back in. That's why it's called the drop. So I'm really interested to see how this works. Like I said, this was roughly $130 on Santa Monica Filtration's website. I will post a link in the description to it if you want to check it out. It's not been proven yet by me. It's been proven by many people. I've seen a lot of people have a lot of good things to say about it. I've also seen a lot of people say it didn't work so well for them. So I'm very interested to see what the case is going to be for me with the BioCube. So once again, I am the Fish Tank Guy. Thank you so much for checking out this channel. Sorry I was kind of scattered and you know, rambling on a little bit. I didn't do a lot of prep work for this video. I got it and I'm excited. I want to get it in the tank. So I did a quick video here to tell you guys what it is and what I'm hoping it will do. Have you had an experience with an ATS, algae turf scrubber, on your tank at home, or maybe somebody you know? If you have, please let me know how it went in the comment section below. If you have any advice, things that I should do, please let me know to encourage the growth of algae in here to make it more and more efficient and effective. That would be awesome. But yeah, so that's all I've got for right now. So until a future Fish Tank Guy video, I will see you guys soon.